I am concerned with the inflation. I'm concerned with the consumer confidence, but not concerned enough to quit buying real estate.
Mr. Russell Simmons. He's a real estate broker, board member of the Houston Association of Realtors, and owner of Texas Area Properties. He has over 30 years of experience in both residential and commercial real estate. How you doing, Russell?
Doing good, Chris. How are you?
Doing great, doing great. So you've seen a few of these things. Whether I mean, we don't know if a recession's coming. We don't really know what's going to happen going ahead. But you've been through a few turbulent times in the market before. What are your thoughts with what we may see over the next 12, 24 months? And like, what are you doing within your business or very close people who ask you this question? What are you kind of recommending for them to navigate this?
Okay, great. Just to kind of get up to speed, got in the business in 1976. So interest rates were 18%. So I'm not a guy that's very rate sensitive. But as I've said many times before, I take what the market gives me. So, the 70s were challenging, the 80s, and, every decade since. But what I'm seeing now, the residential market is oversold. Um, Interest rates are creeping up, so we're kind of concerned about consumer confidence. When the consumer loses confidence, then real estate really changes. So the good thing that we've got going for us is we're in Houston, Texas, and everybody wants to be here. So I'm not panicking at the moment, but whenever I see something oversold or too challenging or too many people changing the same thing, then I change directions. So if residential is difficult, I go commercial. Same goes when commercial gets too difficult, then I go back to residential. Or as you've heard me say many times before, low hanging fruit. The phone rings, the email comes across the desk. What's the deal? If it's a good deal, regardless, commercial, country property, residential, land, whatever, you do the deal. So, but I am concerned with the inflation. I'm concerned with the consumer confidence, but not concerned enough to quit buying real estate. I mean, it might be a little bit of a slowdown. I mean, people are concerned. We came out of COVID. We've got the war right now. We've got so many things going on, and people think that they need to pull in a little bit. I understand. I don't like to be too far over my skis, but when people lose confidence, that's a great time to buy.
It definitely is, and you have a couple of different ways of looking at it. So you're an investor, but you also, I mean, at least I don't know if you do currently, but you've worked with buyers and sellers out there as well. So from
Sure.
an investor, you're able to be very nimble going from residential to commercial. The landlord market, every way I really see it, it looks pretty promising because in the event that buyers pull out, and by pull out, really what I mean is that demand, if it eases because of interest rates, because of prices or whatever, they still got to live somewhere, which means they're going to be renting. I mean, they're either
Right.
not going to be upgrading their current home, which that doesn't change anything for landlords, or they're going to continue renting, which I mean, if you're a landlord, that's a good deal.
Yeah, I've had a lot of rentals for for a very long time, and they're most of them are kind of 2,000 a month plus, so good tenants, solid people. But I thought, I want to get out of these and reposition the money. So I told everybody I was going up on the rent and hoping that a few of them would say thanks, we're moving on. But they all said great, and so
Because they have
I'm
nowhere to
ready to rent.
go.
Yeah, I'm keeping the properties, but I had a little bit of concern the last couple years of what I was hearing with COVID and rent relief and different things like that. I didn't experience anything bad. I know some people that did, so I was wondering, well, is residential rental good for me at this stage in my career? It's not bad, but it's not something that I'm adding a whole lot of. I'm trying to concentrate on the commercial and the country property. But like you say, people have to live somewhere. What they hear on the news is what they believe. So they hear on the news that rents are going up, so they're expecting it, and I think they're comfortable paying it because they want to know where they're going to be for the next year. So if you're in residential rental, if you're in the upper part of the market, I mean, I wouldn't want to be leasing one bedroom apartments for, you know, 900 to 1,000. That would be a market that would concern me now, but that's just me. I mean, everybody's different.
And there's a lot of circumstances where it's cheaper to rent, even though rents have been, they're definitely growing quickly, and they have been over the past few years. So with prices and with interest rates now double really what they were a few months ago, could be cheaper to rent. And my wife and I, we've joked, but it's not really a joke anymore. It's like, hey, do we just cash in our equity and just go rent for a little while, and then then buy whenever an opportunity comes. But so for maybe the last like 60 seconds on the commercial side, what are you seeing? What opportunities are you preparing for or working on now?
Well, it's different with commercial property. If somebody's not paying, you just kind of lock the door. We don't really have any of those issues either. But just trying to buy for value. We always have to add value somehow. We have to solve a problem. I mean, anybody in real estate, you're really a problem solver. You do. Well, I've got a 110 acres in Flatonia, and there was not access to the back 45 acres. So I put in a low water crossing. It cost 25 grand, but now I have access to 45 acres and the price doubled. So you have to see what other people can't see. You have to figure out the solution, pay for the solution, and then move forward. So I see commercial as being strong over the next 12 months. I mean, my biggest issue across the board on real estate is property taxes. That's my biggest concern.
You're not alone there.
Pardon me?
You're not alone there. Anyone who owns real estate and you got their notices over the past few weeks, they're not happy.
Yeah, well, we would pay, 1 month's rent used to cover property taxes for the year. Now it's 3.5 to 4 months in some cases. So, the entities are pricing people out of the market. As long as appreciation continues at the rate it has been over the last 10 years, that's great. But the combination of the two is kind of dangerous. I mean, property taxes, we've got to get some relief somewhere.
Yeah.
And the state house is talking about it. Whether they get anything accomplished, I don't know.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Russell. Appreciate talking to you.
Hey, good seeing you, Chris. Take care.
Take care.